All right, I think we're live. Hope we're live. I'll wait for a few people to get in here. I have a few things I want to discuss, and yeah, kind of want to pick up where I left off. I have somebody that's supposed to stop by and tell me a story also, so that should be interesting. Hello, Moonfire Goddess. Nice to see you here. Do I sound okay? Is the sound good? I always have to do a sound check just to make sure everything. I can't hear on my side. I don't know what you remember what happened last time with debacle, the parade. It was a mess. I am doing really well though. I appreciate you showing up. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? Thank you for that. My stream is a little delayed. I did notice from the last stream also. I think I'm like 10 or 15 seconds from when I say something until you guys can hear something like that. I don't know why it's like uh but I do have somebody that's supposed to stop by and tell me a story, so hopefully they show up. So whenever they come by, I'll let them say what they're actually gonna probably post it in the chat. Very curious about what they have to say. I wanted to hear them talk last time, but I was already close to the end of the stream when they showed up, and I did feel a little bad that I didn't hear them out. I should, like, when I thought about it, I was like, oh, I should have actually. But they told me their story. But I did talk to them on Twitter, and they said they would come by. So looking forward to that very much. That's good. That's good. um, yeah. Once people start getting in here, it's gonna pick up. That's another thing I noticed about the streams is usually picks up around 15, 20 minutes. People start talking. Last time it was horrible because of all the background noise that I had going on. I'm gonna try to pick up a little quicker this time. Let me think. What should I start off with? Well, I'll talk about Kim. That's what people like to hear, right? So Kim has said a lot of things lately. She didn't say anything on the 5th of December, but she was saying a bunch of stuff about the unrepairable. Pretty much, they're pretty much killing all of them. And that number seems to be getting down to zero from what it seems like what she's saying. What I said was, well, if these people have already been deemed to be unrepairable, get rid of them. Thank you. Hey, High Caliber. I believe you're the person that is going to tell us that story. How are you doing? I did want to talk to you about it privately, either on Discord or Instagram or something, but you never gave me any of that. I know you asked me for the phone number. But if you want to tell me that story, we can start off with that. And then I can continue with what. Yeah, I'm very, very curious to hear what you had to say. I did start off by saying that I felt bad that I didn't hear you out last stream, but you showed up towards the end. And I was already kind of shutting it down, but thought about it and I was like, maybe I should have stayed and listened to you tell me that story. So I did feel a little bad about that, to be honest. You did agree to tell me it, so the floor is yours pretty much. Okay, cool. But yeah, while you do that, I'll keep talking about stuff. So, Kim Goguen, she was saying there are less than 1,500, I think, unrepairable humans left. He also said something interesting about Elon Musk. He said that they were fighting, like the people behind the scenes, the state or whatever, were fighting to see who was going to get control over the world or the country or something. And she said that Elon Musk was going to be the one that was going to be in control. And she said, he who controls money and care who makes the law, something like that. So he kind of admitted a little bit that Elon Musk was things. I thought that was interesting. Very interesting. Especially with what you see going on with Twitter and stuff like that. So, I mean, all I can say is, at least, I've heard all the stories about Elon. But, he's trying with Twitter, right? So, that's something. Hey, Moonfire, you can also talk about whatever you want. I'm basically here to listen to High Caliber, tell me his story. Moonfire, you can say whatever you want, whatever topics you guys want to discuss. And I will touch on the topics that I have posted there. I might talk about some other stuff. I was thinking about showing stuff like on the internet, on YouTube or something like that, because I think that'll be more entertaining. You guys want to look at something on YouTube or pull something up, we can look at and discuss. The world is crazy right now. Crazy stuff. Yeah. Um. Oh yeah, and if you guys type a message and I don't respond to that message and I don't read it out, that means that I don't see it. YouTube has been doing this thing in my streams where people will type something and I don't see it until I see the replay. Kind of annoying. So High Caliber, I'm not sure if you wrote anything yet, but I haven't seen. I heard on Twitter that it was DC or some of the high ups have just cleared themselves completely of paying any time. But August is the emperor who wears no clothes. Yeah, and I also heard that the FBI was colluding with Twitter to silence certain people. How do they sway the election a certain way? Like it kind of tells you who's in control of stuff, right? Because they were trying to silence Trump supporters, so they obviously didn't want that side to win. So that tells you who's in control, right? And that's what I tell people. The ones that are controlling stuff, the evil ones, are pretty much democrats or whatever you want to call it. But they want you to believe that there's two sides and there's all this back and forth and they're evenly matched and all. So it's just ridiculous stuff that's going on. People are just letting it happen. Like people need to do, they need to fight back. Like when you see things that are so blatant and you're still not fighting back, it seems like people just don't care, right? Like people are like, whatever. All right, I'm gonna read what High Caliber. High Caliber said, when I was about 4, I was spending the night at my grandparents. Woke up in the morning early, and my grandma had gone to church, and my grandpa was sleeping. For some reason, I went on top of the stairs looking down, and a creature walked in view, started talking to me. I was scared at first. For some reason, knew it couldn't come up. I already can tell you a bunch of stuff just based off of those 2 paragraphs. So obviously it was a dark entity and you were being protected. And that's one thing, like I made a video talking about God, but what I will tell people is believe what you want to believe. And there is protection in believing in God or creation, source, or whatever. So if you do follow that, you will be protected. The source or creation, whatever, understands that when you say God, you're talking about it. So it will support you and defend you against evil or something that might harm you. Moonfire said, I better quit sharing on Twitter and my feeds. This is obviously far from Free Nation. Thoughts? Well, I'm going to tell you what. That's what they want you to think, Moonfire. They want you to do that. To censor yourself, because then you make it easier for them, right? So if you censor yourself and you shut yourself down, then they don't have to do it. So what I would say is keep on saying what you want to say and don't worry about what they do. Just do what you want to do or need to do. Use whatever platform you can to get your message out. They're going to do what they're going to do regardless, right? So why would you censor yourself? Just don't. That's what they want. That's literally what they want. They want us to censor each other and for you to not say anything. You get what I'm saying? High Caliber said, it started talking to me and telling me things about my life. It looked like an Indian medicine man. That's the way I can describe it. Fire said, a shaman. High Caliber. Caliber said, ever since something will happen in my life and I hear it say, see, I told you so. Yeah, well, these entities have the capability of foresight and to see into the future. They can read your soul and they can tell what your life is going to be like. Or even worse yet, they can make things happen in your life and make you think that it was supposed to happen when it wasn't, but they interfered in your life and they made it happen. So now they always seem like they're right. And I have a friend that's dealing with someone that's exactly like that. Like what I was talking about on the last live stream with Lilith and my friend. She does the same thing to him. She makes things happen. And then she's like, see, you should have listened to me. That's how they gain control and power over you. Is every time they do something, they make it look like that's what was supposed to happen, but it wasn't. It's just that they made it happen. And now you're like, oh, I guess that entity knows everything and is telling me the truth. No, they're just playing a game with you. They're trying to deceive you and trick you into believing them so you give them your power and then they can control you. That's why, again, my last video that I made talking about I don't give my power to any god or anything outside of myself. There's no entity in this universe, no entity that has any say or control over my life. Period. Whatever I do in my life, it's my decision. I don't care what anyone or anything says. It can say whatever it wants. It can do whatever it wants. And I'm talking about anything outside of myself. I'm not going to listen. I'm going to do what I want. Period. That's how I feel I have control over my life. And if something happens that's out of my control, that's something that, like you said, this entity shows up and says, oh, look, I made this thing happen. Now you have to believe me. No. You're just like, oh, okay, you did this thing. Good for you. Like, and then you move on, right? But I can tell that this entity is not good because of what you said here. For some reason, I went to the top of the stairs looking down and a creature walked into view. Started talking to me. I was scared at first, but for some reason, knew it couldn't come up. So that means that this entity wasn't a good entity because something was blocking it from coming into your space. So you were being protected by God, by angels, maybe even by your family. And if you're very religious and you're good, if you're good people, I don't know about your family, but if you're really good, like if you really believe in God and you're really good people, you will be protected by God. That is something that does happen. Ever since something, there's no really many days I don't think about that being. Well, again, it's something that is showing itself to you in the hopes that you will buy and believe whatever it tells you so that it can have more sway and power over you. It's playing a game with you. It's like, oh, let's see how much I can do and get away with where this person's going to believe what I say. And the more you believe it and the more you take its word at its value, whether it's right or not is irrelevant. The point I'm trying to make is the more you interact with it and give it credence, like give it validity, it's going to have more power in your life. It's going to be able to do more. It's going to be able to interfere more. Unlike my friend, what I would recommend, my friend didn't stop this thing. It kept doing whatever this thing wanted. So I would recommend, this is a recommendation, not to give it any more power or credence in your life and just let it be. Like, just be like, okay, you did what you did. You told me what you told me, and then we're done. It's not a good entity. I'm very independent and self-thinking, so I don't think it was dark. It's not that it made it happen. It just knew. But that's the thing, though. It can know what's going to happen if it can make it happen. There are very many ways that these entities can influence your life that you would never even conceive of. They can control other people. They can control events in your life. They can make things happen that you never thought anything outside of yourself could make happen. So what I would say to you is, if you have faith in this thing, and all I'm going to say is, I don't believe in giving my power away to any other entity. I don't care what they tell me. That's just me, though. But once you start believing and giving your power away to something else that's not you, no matter what it tells you, no matter what it says, it's going to have power in your life, good or bad, whether it's a good entity or a bad entity. So I'm just saying, understand that when you start to believe it and you start to give it credence, it's going to have power in your life, good or bad. Good or bad. Doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. It's going to have power. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't want anybody in my life telling me about my life, what's going to happen, and predicting stuff and then making things happen. I want to control my life and do what I want without any outside source. I don't want my life to be predicted. I don't want my life to be foretold. You understand? Like, that's just me, though. You don't have to do what I do. You can do whatever you want. What did it look like? This occurred about 3 or 4 times. Our ancestors and loved ones do sometimes actually come through. Not everything is negative, RT. Yeah, Moonfire, but here's the problem. These entities know about your soul, your ancestors, what you love, what you care about. They know everything about you. They're not in a physical body. They can sense your soul and they know everything about you. So they can present themselves to be something that you care about or loved or are related to. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Whether you believe this or not, Moonfire, your ancestors don't come back to visit you and to talk to you. They never do. They never do. If something comes back into this world to visit you and to contact you, it's not your ancestor. It's something else pretending to be that. I'm just saying. You can believe what you want. Again, I'm not telling. This is what I believe, okay? Nobody has to agree with me. You guys can believe whatever you want to believe and live your life how you want to live it. It was warning me, said life would be tough, but told me to never give up. I have my own power and it doesn't direct me. Okay. Well, again, do what you want. So you guys obviously, you two are more in sync with each other than with me. So I can't tell you, I don't have any advice other than if you feel like you're doing what you need to do, then do what you need to do. It's your own experience. It's your own life, and you know what's best. You know better than me what's best for you, right? I can't tell. I can only tell you from my experiences and the things I've researched and learned. I don't want anything from outside of myself telling me anything. I'll live my life the way I live it. That's just me, though. But you guys can do whatever you want. You guys believe in ancestors and apparitions and all that stuff telling you what to do and how to live your life or whatever, warning you about stuff. Those are your own choices. Okay? Yep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not in sync with your life, but it's like I said. I don't trust anything outside of myself, for better or for worse. I don't. The only person I trust in this entire universe is me. That's it. I don't trust anyone or anything outside of myself. And I've proven that over and over and over again in my life. I am the only person that I can trust. That's the only thing I can tell you. But everyone has to live their life. So you trust what you want to trust, you believe what you want to believe. I think it has given me great intuition in the sermon. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not necessarily always going to be a negative thing. There are entities that do want to help. There are entities that want to hurt. There are entities that want to help. However they interact with you dictates what their intent is, right? So from your experience, it seems to have been a good thing. That what it is. But me personally, I don't care if it's good or bad. That's all I'm saying. I don't care if it's good or bad. I don't want anyone or anything dictating my life for me, telling me this is how things are going to be. This is what you got to do. I'll figure it out. I don't need anyone or anything outside of myself to tell me anything. But again, I can't live anybody else's life, and everybody does what's best for them. So I do believe that certain people are protected. You seem to be a good person, so I can sense that this is like this entity is more like a guardian angel for you, somebody that came try to help you out and give you some kind of intuition or assistance. Basically everything you said, right? You already know. You know better than me because you're telling me the story. But I can sense that what you're telling me is more along those lines than anything negative, right? So, but again, I guess it's just a pessimist in me. I just don't believe in anything telling me how to live my life. To me, telling me how to live my life, or not even live my life, but just anything, because it's like you already know. Like you're telling me how the things are gonna play out. That takes my free will away, right? Like once something tells you this is how things are gonna be, you lose your free will right there, because that means something it's already planned for you. You don't have a choice in the matter. You understand where I'm coming from? Like once something says this is it and that happens, that means you never had a choice. It was gonna happen no matter what you said or did. So I don't like that because it takes away your free will. Do you get what I'm saying? Even if it's a good thing. Even if it's a good thing, it still takes away your free will. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, I think we're beating this dead horse. Let me see. I appreciate your opinion. It's okay. I think it has given me great intuition in the sermon. And then Moonfire said that's how it should be. High Caliber said I can't really say it's good or bad. I just wonder about it. Moonfire Goddess. I wouldn't let anything outside myself tell me my free will is a necessity. Yeah, and that, like I said, because imagine if I came up to you and I said, hey, in 1 year, you're going to win the lottery. Yeah, it's a good thing you win the lottery. But what if you don't want to win the lottery? What if you just want to live a simple life? And I told you you're going to win the lottery. No matter what, it's going to happen. And then you win the lottery. But you didn't really want to win the lottery, but you played the lottery, hoping that you would win. And then you end up winning. And then you're like, wait, I wasn't really ready to win the lottery. Now I have all this money. Now all the things that come with the money, the fame, the money, more problems, right? But what I'm saying is and that might be a bad example, but the point I'm trying to make it simple is when something else tells you this is how things are going to be and then it happens, that means you never had a choice. It was going to happen that way. I don't know how things are going to turn out. I don't remember the details until after. I don't know my future. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this too. Another reason why I felt a little bit of a negative vibe with it is because it was like, I told you so. I told you so. If it's really a positive thing, it doesn't need to throw it in your face. Like, oh, look, see, I told you this was going to happen. It's like, okay. Like, if you're really trying to help somebody, you don't need to, like, rub it in their face. You get what I'm saying? But whatever. I mean, I don't know what it was other than something deciding that they chose you to be the person that they wanted to play this game of whatever game they're playing, predicting your future or trying to let you see that it has power. Like, oh, look, this is the power I have. I have the ability to know your life. And when it happens, you're going to come back to me and believe in me. And I'm going to say something else that you need to understand. There are entities that present themselves to be good that they'll play the game. They'll be like, oh, look, trust me, trust me, trust me. What I'm telling you is going to happen. It's happening, isn't it? Trust me, trust me. And then when they get you to trust them, they'll turn on you. That's all I'm saying. It happens. So, again, from my perspective, it's not a good thing. From your perspective, it's neither good or bad. Like, it is what it is. But you get what I'm trying to say. I'm going to take a quick 1 minute break. I'll be on fire. You better not say anything. Quite quiet, huh? Yeah, high caliber. It could be you from the future. Um, you did you get a look at its face? Did you see a clear view of what it looked like, or you couldn't see its face? And then Moon said, "Hi everyone, the room is quite quiet." And High Caliber said, "I don't still communicate with it, just get feelings of told you so." You know who else did that? Thanks for listening. Feelings equals memory. I don't know how much you heard of the last stream, but my friend had pretty much the same exact situation as you that he had with that demon. And that demon was doing the same thing. The I told you so, the I told you so, with my friend to get my friend to believe whatever it was saying or doing. And it was tricking my friend by causing events to happen in his life. And no matter what he said or did against her, she would just make things happen. And she's like, see, I told you. See, I told you. And after a while of him seeing this pattern of I told you because she was making things happen, then he just started to believe anything she said. So she could tell him whatever she wanted. She made up all types of stories and stuff to make him believe her. And he fell for it. And guess what? Guess where he is now? He's completely and utterly controlled by this entity. That's all I'm saying. So that's, for me, that's a perfect example of why not to trust anyone outside of yourself. And that's not the only example I've ever heard of in history. There are other people that have gone through this. But you have to be your own, and you've already said, you stand in your own power. So you've already taken control over your life to the point where you're like, well, this thing can tell me whatever, but it's not gonna control my life, which is a good thing. Which is not what my friend did. My friend did the opposite. He let that entity take over. Pretty sure he's regretting it. Time of his life. Moonfire said, oh, that reminds me of my visit of my now version to my 20-something self. I dropped in on myself when the internet was new. I told her, me, the times coming as they are now. Yeah, yeah, and that's very possible. I've heard of people doing that, where their future selves come back and talk to their past selves. So I'm not denying that at all. That could be happening with High Caliber too. Let's see. He said it had like a black and white face paint, black hair with a silver green tint. It was wearing a big fur coat, but looked more like a bunch of maple leaves. Had a black and white face. Interesting. I don't know. But did it look human or did it look like an alien? Like, did it look like a person or did it look like a monster or entity? I think that's the main thing I'm trying to figure out. But yes, Moon, that definitely happens. I've heard of a lot of people saying that happens. I know there's this one channeler. I think his name is Bashar. He says that he's channeling his future self. I don't know if you guys have heard of Bashar, but he channels his future self that came from the future, that is an evolved human, and came back to tell him how things are in the future and to give him knowledge. And I would say that that entity is very wise. That's all I can say from what I've seen. Good or bad, it's very wise and human-ish. Okay, when you say human-ish, what aspect of it wasn't human? Like, what made you feel like this isn't human? Was it too big, too small? Was it shaped weird? Yeah, Moonfire. Carrie Cassidy had him on. She did like this, I don't know, tour or something where she had all these people. Like a long time ago, like 10, 15 years ago. She had a bunch of people come and talk about stuff. I think it was in California. I don't remember where, but she had Bashar there. And also Farsight. They've done a dive into Bashar and yes, and yes, they remote viewed him. And that entity is very something. I'll say that. It does remind me a lot of what's going on with my friend and Tifa or Lilith. But it seems like Bashar has a more positive thing going on than what my friend does. And that entity that is with Bashar is very defensive of him, similar to how Tifa is with my friend. But yeah, High Caliber, what about it felt not human to you? Was it too big, too small? Was it the feeling you got? All human features, just the hair, face colors, and what it was wearing was odd. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me think. Could have also been a person. I mean, to be honest with you, uh, did it disappear or something, or because humans have cloaking technology, so it could have been somebody, a person from the government or something, with the ability to cloak. They could appear in front of you, disappear. I mean, there's so many crazy things in this world. It's very difficult to pinpoint exactly what's happening in certain situations. That's why most of the time you have to use your intuition or discernment, your ability to sense and feel things out. And most humans don't have that. So they get fooled a lot. I'm glad you told me the story though, because it definitely gave me something to talk about. I mean, I had other things to talk about, but I think your story is very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Hey, High Caliber, did you hear the whole story? Or did you watch the last stream? With what was going on? And Moonfire, I also appreciate you talking, because you two are the only ones talking right now. If there's anybody else watching, you're free to talk and say whatever you want. You can talk about Kim Goguen or anything, any of these topics, or anything at all, really. I'm here just to talk. I was gonna show videos and stuff, but I didn't really plan on what I wanted to show, and I didn't have enough time to get stuff together because I was making videos and trying to get ready. So I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna show, but if there are things that you guys want to see, I can just go on YouTube and we can look at stuff and discuss things. Yeah, it's like I said, my friend definitely has an extremely negative situation going on, and it didn't start off that much different than what you have going on or what you had going on. This entity was just trying to get my friend to trust it, her, whatever. And when it did, that's when it finally, you know, how do I explain this? Whenever he fully trusted her, that's when she was able to do more things in his life and take over his life. And she was doing the same thing. Like she was like, "Oh, look, see, this happened. I made this happen. I told you this would happen." And she kept doing that to him, and he was losing it because he kept seeing things happen. And he's like, okay, she's obviously, showing me whatever she says is happening. So at some point, you're just gonna believe it, right? You're just gonna be like, yep, she's right. Whatever she says is what it is, and gave up on fighting her. Now she controls his life. Moonfire said the true free speech zone live stream with RT. Yeah, it would be a lot more free if we were on Rumble, to be honest, because then I would be unleashed and I would be saying a lot more than what I'm saying right now. I'm trying to hold back, I guess, because I mean, the good thing is we can still talk about stuff like this. YouTube doesn't care because nobody's gonna believe us, right? So we can just say whatever we want about these kind of topics. YouTube's like, nobody believes stuff anyway, so who cares? And to a degree, they're right, but I mean, on Rumble, I would talk about more things, right? Like the election and the C-19 thing and other stuff like that. I would say what's really going on. Can't say it on here because get hit with a strike. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Moonfire, High Caliber, any other questions, subjects, topics you guys want to discuss? Like whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm here. Or I can just ramble about this stuff over here. In talking with T was like it flashed a bunch of visions telepathically to me, and those are what pops up. As I told you, talking with it, I'm gonna assume you meant to say it, was like it flashed a bunch of visions telepathically. Yeah, that's the same thing that Lilith or Tifa does to my friend. She will put things in his head telepathically. She can put whatever she wants, right? She can make up any scenario and she can be like, this is what the truth is. And he sees it in his mind and he's like, oh, that's what it is. But Moonfire said, yeah. And High Caliber said, let's talk about Kim. Okay. So Kim, she didn't make a report on the 5th. I was a little disappointed about because I kind of look forward to those to see what the updates are, right? Because the last time she talked, she said there were, I believe she said less than 1,500 unrepairable humans left. And my only gripe with that is that they've already been deemed unrepairable. They're ready. Like, you know, they're not going to change. And if there was one good apple in a batch of rotten apple, oops, try again next time. Like, I don't know what to say other than get rid of them. And I'm a lot more ruthless than Kim is, right? Like, that's my take on it. That's what I would do. That's why I don't have the power that she does, because I'm worse than she is. But whatever the case is, I guess she knows what she's doing. And if she says they're giving them chances to change, then that's what they're doing. But the thing is, again, I'm going to stress, they've already determined these people to be unrepairable, which means they've already done things to be put in this category of unrepairable, which means why are they still walking around doing things that they shouldn't be doing? Do you get where I'm coming from? Does it make sense now why I say I'm more ruthless than Kim and why they should be taken out? You get it? Because I don't believe, like, if you give people chances and they keep on doing the same thing, why do you keep? You already know what they're gonna do. They know their thought process. Kim said they have mind reading technology, right? So they can read their minds. They know what they're gonna do. They know how they're gonna act. They know they're not gonna change. So get rid of them. What are we doing here? You know, I mean, we just being nice to be nice. Okay, guess that's a thing. It is what it is. Not my place, I guess. But anyways, Moonfire said, please keep talking regarding Kim listening. What do you think of the PSYOP? If them trying to create alien UFO stories, the uptick is off the charts, and the ability they have to use CGI is off the hook too. Well, it's funny that you say that, because Tim Pool was talking about it just before I started recording, or before I went live. He was like, you know, we're at the point where so many crazy things are going on that if the aliens showed up and, you know, they just, you know, were in front of us, it'd be like, oh yeah, they're the aliens, oh yeah, like, we already know this. Like, it's not a secret that there are aliens. Everybody freaking knows. Like, it's just stop. Like, reveal it. They've been revealing. The government, what, 2 years ago? Or right around when COVID started, or right after it, they already released files saying that there are UFOs that they don't know where they came from. They don't belong to anybody on Earth. So that's pretty much acknowledging that there are aliens. They didn't do it in a mass, like, way that people want, right? They didn't come out and say, oh, look, these are all the aliens that are here. These are their vehicles and stuff like that. They just said, look, this stuff doesn't belong to us. Put it 2 and 2 together. So it's at the point where people just need to figure it the fuck out. They just need to wake up and be like, okay, they are aliens. That's it. Now that everybody knows, now what's next, right? Are we going to get into it and see who's here, why they're here? And that's why I like what Kim says, because Kim is like at the end game, right? Like, she's already like saying everything, like, this is what we're doing. Like, she's at the end of the game, where the government and, you know, most people, they're at the beginning, like, oh, did you hear that government declassified UFO documents? Oh, wow. Like, that's where most people are. And I'm like, bro, this is like, Roswell happened how many years ago? In the 40s? This is so fucking old. Like, we're way past this fucking point of there are aliens. Can we get with the times? And as far as them creating fake alien invasions and stuff like that, well, you can't really fake something that's already happened, right? So there have already been aliens. They are here now. I've dealt with them myself. I'm sure other people have. And it's not a secret that these things are real. It's just a matter of what are people going to believe and what they aren't. And the way that I'm hearing it, or what I've heard in the past, is that they want you to believe that the bad aliens are good and the good aliens are bad. That's basically the only thing that I can think of when it comes to a psyop or fake story or something. If they do some kind of fake invasion or whatever, is that they would try to make the bad guys look like the good guys and the good guys look like the bad guys. So however that plays out, it's just going to be a matter, again, of people learning how to discern things for themselves and saying, okay, I see who the bad guys and the good guys are. And if you're going to trust the government, who's been proven over and over to be liars and deceivers and against the people, then that's your own damn fault for being that stupid. Like, I don't really know what else to say. People just need to wake the fuck up and figure out what's really going on. Because, and we're living in the age of the internet and technology, right? Where you can share stories in so many places, right? People can see this, see that, you can go and research things. You can go figure things out on your own. You don't need anybody to tell you or figure things out for you. Not to mention that they show stuff in movies and shows, right? Like, they try to tell people. And the reason why they put that stuff in the shows and the movies is because they know people are too stupid to figure it out, right? So they're like, nobody's going to figure it out. So they put all this stuff in front of your face because most people aren't going to figure it out. So they're like, we can just show you what the truth is and you're still not going to know. But that's, I don't know how else to say. There's no nice way to say this other than, the only way I can say it is people are just stupid. Like, I don't know how else to say that. It's just, at some point, you got to say the truth, right? And people are just dumb and they can't see the truth. They can't see what's in front of their face. So there's no fixing that. Like, the only way people like that will learn is when things really happen. Like, when you see real shit walking around, like when you see real aliens walking around doing shit, and then you're gonna be like, oh fuck. Like, I can't deny it now. Like, I it's right there in my face. But that's the only way these people are gonna figure it out. Is if they have to see something in their face happen. So, in a weird way, maybe it would be good to have a fake alien invasion, because then people will wake the fuck up and see what's really going on. Because then you would have to decide. You have to figure it out. You have to be like, is this real or not? And who are the bad guys and who are the good guys? You have to figure it out. You wouldn't be able to run and hide and be like, oh no, that's not happening. No, if it's happening, it's happening. Everybody sees it. There ain't shit you can do about it other than face it and figure out what's going on. Moonfire said 1947, but the fake ones the government might bring to us cause more hysteria and MK. Sadly, I see your point. We have either open-minded or closed off. Yeah, a noik of awakening. A panic of awakening. Yeah, and that's the sad reality that we live in, is that most people don't believe shit until shit happens. And by the time shit happens, or when shit happens, it's too late to change your mind about it because it's done. It's in your face. And most people, that's how they're going to learn. When something is in their face happening. I don't know what else to say. And like, people like us, we already know what's going on. We don't need anybody to tell us anything. We're just seeing things play out, right? But other people, they need to be shown the hard way. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Any other subjects? Tim Pool got swatted. I'm not gonna lie, Tim Pool looks like he's depressed as fuck. And I know most of you don't care about Tim Pool, whoever watches me, but the dude is like, fuck all this shit. because he's getting swatted consistently. He's got swatted like 16 times on his show live. He's he had his house broken into. People were shooting at his house and stuff like that. And it gets to a point where it's like, because he always says this, he's like, I don't need any of this shit. Like if I wanted to, I can just move somewhere down by the lake and live the rest of my life without any of this stuff. But he believes in trying to free humanity or help humanity. Who swatted him? Was it an enemy? Yeah, it's a bunch of crazy leftists, and he's not really a bad dude. I don't agree with a lot of things that he says, but he's not a bad guy. Like, he's trying to help humanity. And like I've said on my videos talking about him, that I kind of want to emulate his work ethic and his style, because he has a winning formula. Like, he knows how to get people to watch, and he's successful. So he's probably the person I want to emulate in terms of how he runs his channel. Not him as a person. I don't want to be like him or anything like him, but the way he does his business, I want to do that too. Like, I want to get to that point, and it's gonna take work, but I'll get to it. But long story short, yeah, a bunch of crazy leftists and people that don't like him have been attacking him. He just looks depressed. He's like, fuck over it. Like, he doesn't care about shit. That's the way it's. I wouldn't be surprised. I guess the reason why I'm talking about this is because I wouldn't be surprised if he shut his whole operation down. Just said fuck it, because they're literally trying to kill him. He's getting death threats. People are trying to break in and shoot him, literally. And these people almost got killed because he has a lot of security and stuff on his property. And he's telling them, he's like, don't come here because you're going to die. Like, he's literally telling them, don't come to my property. But when they want to shut you down because you're not going along with the narrative, right? The mainstream narrative, because he doesn't go along with what they want him to do. Now he's getting attacked. Like Apple was it Apple? No, Google. Google was talking to him, trying to get his opinion on how they can get protected against being censored or being shut down, because Google is like, they came to Tim Pool to get his opinion to say, can you support us against the government or against somebody? I forgot exactly what it was, but basically Google was trying to get his support. Long story short, Google was trying to get Tim Pool's support, and he was like, I'm not going to support you guys because you guys have been censoring me. So whatever you're trying to get support from, I'm not with it. You guys have been shutting down my... Remember how I was telling you, Moonfire, that he was getting shut down by YouTube? So he literally told Google that. He was like, you guys are shutting me down. Why the fuck would I support you? And now, next week, people are trying to kill him. You see how that shit works? But High Caliber said XRP. What do you mean by XRP, High Caliber? Yeah, it's like, why would you want to support people that are censoring your content? High Caliber said, I think Kim is involved in XRP and that is her system. Although she dishes crypto, she has said XRP is pretty good and our financial system doesn't need quantum. Well, I don't know much about that, to be honest with you. I don't really deal with crypto or anything like that. I mean, I've dealt with it a little bit in terms of investing, but not no expert in. I haven't even heard Kim talk. She has talked about it. I wasn't paying attention. I don't listen to everything that Kim says because some stuff I feel like not important to me. I kind of shut it out of my mind. So she did talk about that. I kind of just didn't hear. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not important. It's probably important. It It's not important to me, I guess. It's not affecting my life. So I didn't really like, soak it in. Um, but yeah, as far as I know, she talked about, she said that what they're trying to do with crypto is trying to control everybody's money, and it's another form of control. I remember her saying that they were trying to change the monetary system to crypto because they thought that was a different way to control people. I know she said that, and she said it wasn't going to work because they don't have the capability to do the transactions that they want to do. I remember her saying that. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I do remember her saying that, and she was very dismissive of the crypto. It was like, if they're trying to do this, they're not gonna succeed because it's just they don't have the capability to make something like that. Is that what you're talking about, High Caliber? Uh, Needs to control the money and have, yeah, yeah, she's talked about that a lot. That she has control over, at least she calls it the backside system, which I still haven't figured out what that means, to be honest with you. But I know it has to do with money. And I know she says that they keep coming to her asking for money, and she's not giving them the money. They want to fund wars and stuff like that. They don't have the capability. They want to pay people. They don't have the money to pay people that are doing all these evil things. She says she's not going to help them fund their operations. So I know that. But I don't really understand how it works, to be honest with you. I don't know how he has that control over the money yet. Because you got to think about this. This is where I get confused. He has control over the money, but they're still moving money around. Whatever imaginary fake money they have. And honestly, it's not fake. It's not imaginary because you can still buy things. And you can still get things with their fake money. So if their money is fake, right? Because she's not giving them money, but they have all this money circulating in our society, then how are people able to still operate with that fake money? You get what I'm saying? So I don't know how that works, because you would think a system like that that's operating on money that's not real would collapse, right? Like it would just not work, but somehow it's still operating. So I'm like, how are we still, if Kim is not giving them money and not allowing them to have real money, how are people still doing things? How is society still functioning? You get what I'm saying? It should have, the second that Kim denied them money, it's the second that society should have stopped working, or the money system should have stopped working. No banks should be working. No transactions should be made. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm confused when Kim says that she's not giving them money and they don't really have money. Well, then how come everything is still operating? You get what I'm saying? And I'm not denying anything Kim says. I just don't understand it. I don't know how it works. So I can't really give an opinion about something I don't understand. You get what I'm saying? That's just my logic. Yeah, I'm looking. Obviously, they're still operating as if they do have money, right? They still control everything. They control the world. They control all the financial systems. Control the banks still. They still sell you stuff. Money flow going on, but no big funding. No more printing money. Yeah, but they still are, though. You get what I'm saying? They still are doing that. So that's where I get confused, because things are still happening. It hasn't shut down. Now, if it shuts down completely, meaning there are no more transactions, nobody's getting paid anything, you can't buy anything, nobody can sell anything, There are no more banks. When I see that happen, then what Kim is saying will make more sense when it comes to that. You understand? Because then I'll be like, oh, Kim was the one that shut that. But right now, I'm not seeing that. I'm not saying Kim isn't doing anything. I don't know what she's doing. I just know that when it comes to that, I'm still seeing it happen. Get what I'm saying? Kaz been cutting them off, but yes, they are still going. To at least some. Well, yeah. I mean, well, it's not just to some degree. It's to the full capability. Like there's still society hasn't changed. The only thing I will say that they've tried to do is the food shortage, supply shortage, and stuff like that. But I don't think that had anything to do with Kim, because even Kim herself said that they were tracking them doing stuff like that, and she was going to warn people if there was going to be anything major happening in that aspect in terms of a shutdown and complete supply chain disruption. She said she was going to tell people, hey, they're planning to do this and you guys need to prepare. So she has talked about that. However, like what I'm talking about is things are still the same. Nothing has changed at all. If there is something that you're seeing that I'm not, please tell me right now so I can understand better, because I'm trying to understand that aspect. That's the only thing that I don't get when Kim talks about it. I understand everything else, but when it comes to that, the money, the financial system, the cutting them off, I'm not seeing where that's happening. I'm not going to say completely. I'll say this. I know that there have been bills that she says that she has blocked. But the problem with that is that they've still passed other bills. So I remember her saying a year or two ago, I think it was a year, that the Democrats were trying to pass a bill or something, and she blocked it. And I did kind of see some proof of that because the bill didn't go through. But then they passed another bill. And I was like, wait. Didn't Kim block them? And then they still ended up passing a bill. So I was like, so they just kind of just dismissed whatever Kim did and still went on and did whatever they were going to do. You see what I'm saying? So even though Kim is shutting them down, quote unquote, they're still operating as if whatever she's saying or doing doesn't matter. They're still passing their bills and they're still doing whatever they're doing. You get what I'm saying? That was the only time that I saw anything that where Kim said, yes, I stopped them from getting this bill passed, and I saw it, and it didn't pass, right? But then they did something else, so I was like, okay, they're still doing stuff. So Moonfire said, as long as we allow them to. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, right? I think the main thing that I get from Kim is that she's trying to teach people how to be self-sufficient and dependent on themselves. She talks about it a lot, especially lately. She keeps saying we need to learn how to get our own food, self-sufficient, and have our own farms, stuff like that. And she's like, the farmers are more than willing to sell you stuff directly and cut out the middleman because they'll make more money. So Kim wants people to stop relying on governments and financial system and be more of a trading society amongst each other. Hey, Lynette. Lynette says, I think they are getting their money from illicit means. Yeah, Kim did say that. Kim said that they're finding ways to steal money. So, but I guess the point that I was making is, however they're getting their money, they're still getting it. Like they're still doing things. You get what I'm saying? So once they stop completely, then I will say, okay, that's what Kim did, right? But they haven't. That's the thing. I'm not like, again, I'm not saying Kim isn't doing anything. I don't see that part of it. And I'm trying to look for that or understand it better. And I just gave the one example about her stopping the bill that the Democrats were trying to pass a year ago. So I did see that happen. So I know she did something there. She said it and then it happened. So I saw that part. But there's still things are still happening regardless. Moonfire said evil machination. Yes. Definitely evil. So when people learn to be more reliant on each other and not the government or financial institutions, things will get better instantly. That's what Kim is trying to teach people, how to work together to have our own society that doesn't include these people that are controlling us, right? Or having the say over our lives, which is should be the goal, right? Everybody should be on board with that. So yeah, Lynette, is there anything you want to talk about? Because I've been kind of just freestyling and letting people say whatever they want and just going off of whatever they say. But I do appreciate you saying what you said. Because yeah, I do remember Kim saying that. She was like, they're still finding ways to get money, uh, different ways, stealing money from people and stuff like that. And that's the people, those are the people that run the world right now until they're removed. I think some truth is very slowly coming to the surface. Yeah. Um. Well, one thing I will say is I'm noticing overall, not just in one specific aspect or another of society. I'm noticing overall the truth, like you said, is coming through. Like people are starting to really see what's really going on in this world. What's up, Mark? Nice to see you from Alaska. But yeah, I think people are starting to see things for what they really are. And it's getting harder for the evil ones that control the world to hide the truth from people, especially like, you know, when you can go online like we're doing now and we can just talk about what's really happening. And I think that's the main idea behind my channel is, well, it's not, I think it is the main idea behind my channel is to get the real truth to as many people as possible. And I'm not going to tell you I have all the answers, I know everything, right? But what I will say is the more I talk to people and the more people share with me, the more I share with them, and we share the truth with each other and we get it to more and more people. And eventually it'll snowball, right? Like all of us together, working together, we can spread the truth to as many people as possible. What the real truth is. Whatever the real truth is about whatever subject. And that's why I named my channel The Real Truth, because this isn't a political channel. This isn't a sports channel. This isn't a gaming channel. This isn't a one topic. This isn't an alien channel, a religious channel. This is we can talk about whatever channel. The real truth about anything. It doesn't matter what it is. We can talk about anything. But there are channels that, like, I don't want to talk bad about Iceman, right? But George Iceman, I remember when I was in his chat watching Kim, and he was like, no political talk, no political talk. I was like, why not? Like, you're never gonna hear me say, oh, there's this thing we can't talk about. Oh, no, don't talk about that. Oh no, not that thing. You can talk about whatever the hell you want as long as, you know, YouTube doesn't take us down. But why, there's Rumble, right? So if I can't talk about it here, I'll go to Rumble. But there's not gonna be a subject that we can't talk about. Talk about whatever. The way I feel about it. Does anybody else want to say anything? Elon Musk. Let me talk about Elon Musk a little bit while you guys think. So, Elon, who I'm sure a lot of you don't like that watch him, he's trying what he can with Twitter to give people as much free speech as possible, feeling a lot of shit. Like, I'm talking about stuff that the FBI colluded, Twitter, silence certain people, certain opinions they don't like. There's so many things that are coming out on Twitter. But here's the thing that bothers me. All this stuff was obvious to people that have half a brain cell, right? So why do we have to wait for somebody like Elon Musk to come along and take over Twitter for people to say, oh yeah, now we know that's the truth? this is what's pissing me off. People are like, oh, we always have to have proof and evidence before we believe something. So you always have to wait for somebody to prove something to you before you can figure out what's going on. You can't just figure it out before that. That's something that I can't stand. People are like, oh, well, there's no evidence, there's no proof, there's no way that this is happening. No, why do you have to wait? You can see what's happening with your own damn eyes. Stop waiting for somebody to prove something to you when you can see what's going on. So again, everybody already knew what was going on with Twitter before Elon took over. But now they're like, oh, no, but now we have the proof and the evidence. And I'm like, so what? They already got away with murder. They already did the things that they did. They silenced people. They blocked people. They stopped certain opinions from being spread. You can't misgender people. Or you couldn't at the time. And all this nonsense. It's like, look at the shit they got away with. They already won the game. They already did what they did. And what are we going back to? Square zero? Now we're back in the middle, right? Because we're not winning. We're not on the winning end of this. It seems like the good guys, quote unquote, are winning or coming back. But it's just back to normal. It's back to where it was when it started. That's the way Twitter was supposed to be the whole time. So there has been no progress made. It's just we're back to square zero. Wow. We're back to the middle. And nothing changed. They won. They did what they for 10 years they got away with murder and did the things that they did. Now we're back to the regular way it was supposed to be. Damage has been done. So what? See what I'm saying? Like, whatever. That's just the way. Totally agree. Doesn't the Bible say, by their fruit we will know them? Yeah. And see, that's one of the things in the Bible that's true, right? And I tell people, you know, the Bible has a lot of truths, but that's one of the truths, right? Is when you see people doing things, you need somebody to come and tell you they're doing the thing for you to figure out that they're doing the thing. No, you don't need somebody to tell you that. You can see it yourself. Why do you need to wait for proof or somebody to? That's the shit that pisses me off. I'm like, why are people programmed like this? And it's like most people are like that. Most people think like that. Like, well, there's no proof, there's no evidence, so it can't be happening. Well, keep waiting for it. And look at all the shit that happened in the meantime while you were waiting for your proof and evidence. Look at all the shit that happened. Look at all the stuff they got away with. And it's not just a Twitter thing. The governments do the same shit. They get away with fucking murder all the time. Organizations get away, like different organizations, different government organizations, different countries, different whatever, religious groups, whatever. Like people always get away with something that are in groups, right? There are groups that have what they're trying to do, their agenda, their goals. And if they really want to get to their goal, they're going to do what it takes to get there. So you have to wait for somebody to come along and tell you, this group was doing this bad thing. Now that you told me, now I believe that they were doing this bad thing, even though I saw it the whole time. But now that you told me, now I believe that they were doing the bad thing. Thank you for telling me, because I would have never known it otherwise. But anyways, I think I beat that deal. You guys get it. Most of you here are smart. Well, not most of you. All of you here are smart. And I don't need to say this to you guys. You guys are I don't need to say this to you. But anybody that walks in and doesn't understand, that's just what it is. Does anybody else want to talk about anything? Don't be shy. I know there's like a few people watching that haven't said anything. If you guys want to talk about anything, just say it. Whatever you want to talk about. I'm open to anything. But back to the Elon thing, just to finish that point, is that he's giving people the most free platform since, I guess, YouTube. Because I remember when YouTube first came out, say and do whatever you wanted on YouTube. It quickly, over the years started to shut that down. But now Twitter, one of the biggest platforms out there, is allowing people to say as much as, Elon Musk allows. So he's not a complete free speech absolutist, but better than what it was before. So what I was telling people is take advantage of opportunity and say what you want to say and do what you want to do. before they shut it down again, right? Because eventually the government's going to go after him. He's talking about he has threats on it, and he's worried that the government's come down, start shutting him down. Well, they didn't want to censor Twitter before, leftists shut it down now, right? That's how this world works. Like I said in the beginning of this stream, I was like, see who's doing what, who's getting away with what, and that's who's running the shit. Like the people that are getting away with shit are the ones that are in control, or they wouldn't be getting away with the stuff they're getting away with, right? That's why they're in control, because they're allowed to get away with things. Other people won't go against them, shut you down. But yeah, anything else? Anybody else wants anything? I think that was mostly what I wanted to say with Elon. You guys are pretty quiet today. I mean, not super quiet, but Luxie's back. Hey, Luxie. Such a puppet show. Yeah, it is. And that's how this world has been for a long time. Thought I got rid. Trump once said we had to protect him. Yeah. Sometimes they'll say, like Trump. Well, Trump is buddy buddy with. Say that. But yeah, he's not wrong there, right? And I don't really necessarily believe someone like kind of part of the problem because Elon is playing his. But I do believe he at least attempting to try to do something, right? How far that goes, how long it lasts, I don't know. That's why I feel that we should take advantage of how they can because who knows how long that's going to be. Mark said, "Can you comment on the enforcer?" Well, Mark, if I had to be honest with you, I don't know that much about the enforcer. I've only heard Kim mention him a few times. Well, she's mentioned him a lot, to be honest, but the only thing I know is that very powerful entity that specializes in killing, I guess, killing people that need to be killed. From the way that Kim's, so he's somebody that is working with Kim to help her in her mission to get rid of the people that need to get rid. So he said that he's not human. Whatever he is, he needs to be extremely powerful. I would say don't get on his bad side because he'll pretty much. That's pretty much all I know about him. I don't really know much more than that. Is there anything you want to add about that, Mark? If anything you want us to know about the added. Moonfire said, "I sent you something that might be interesting." Okay, gonna send. So on TikTok, you're not allowed to talk about Golems, the regressive timeline of humanity, Edgar Casey's Atlantis, great alien abduction and hybridization. Andrija Harridge, the 9, it violates their got my account back today. half my video. So, okay. Well, I will say this. TikTok is owned by China, right? From my understanding, the Greys or the evil Greys are pretty much controlling China. So, of course, they wouldn't want people to talk about their alien abduction stuff. No, they're experiments. But from my understanding, the Greys are in control of China, the evil Greys. So, yeah, they're definitely going to censor that. High Caliber, do you think there is going to be... I think the government is going to take themselves down because they're so over the line. You know, like they're stepping over the line so much with their power that people are just going tired of them. What I keep saying is, if people want if they want the shit to stop, what the government's doing, stop supporting the government, stop voting, stop following their mandates, whatever they tell you to do. Right? If you don't want the government to control your life, then stop letting them life. So in reality, best government takedown would be for people to take the government down, not by force, but by disobedience, civil disobedience. Just don't do what the government tells you to do. That's how you take down the government. That simple. But is there gonna be like some secret operation, or what you're talking about? Secret operation, coming in and taking them down. I know it depends on how far they step over the line, because I know I said that there are entities that are tired of what these humans are doing and want to get rid of them. Right? So if there comes a point where enough entities want things to change, do something and what anybody. You get what I'm saying? The way that Kim is talking about, getting to the point where that's happening. There are outside entities coming here, helping her do what doing. Most of the dealing with are in power, government, wherever. You get what I'm saying? In a way, Kim is taking the government down. Yes. People that are bad actors. That's the way it comes off from what she said. Lynette said, is the enforcer like Joe Black? Who the heck? You think I would know that? Oh, in that movie. Nope, I haven't seen that movie. Maybe. I don't know. Is he? You would know better than me. Moonfire said, Enforcer is new to me. Yeah. I've heard Kim talk about him. There was a video where somebody asked Kim about the Enforcer and he explained it very well, but I couldn't find the video. Forgot who. If it was somebody asked Kim directly, "Who is the Enforcer?" And she explained it like perfectly. And then I tried to go find the video again. I don't remember everything. I remember the main point of the Enforcer is very powerful. I mean, he would be considered a god by human standards, but humans would equate to it in terms of his power and capability. And he's helping Kim get rid of people. That's what I got. When he wants to get rid of people, he gets that he feels. Just a from that. But yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about? I'm probably gonna shut it down. I have enjoyed this, but I'm not gonna shut it down unless you guys want to. If you guys want to keep talking, I'll stay. As long as you guys want to talk. Last time, like I said, I made a mistake of not listening to High Caliber. High Caliber definitely made up for it. I do appreciate High Caliber telling me this. Go back and look. that's what I do anyways. I go back and look at the replays because, like I said, some of the comments get hidden from me. So if there's something that you guys have said and I didn't respond, it's not because I missed a comment. It's because YouTube hid it from me. So I have to go back, watch the replay to see what everything. I hate that. I don't know why. Like, it's my chat, right? Like, I'm talking to you guys. I don't need them to censor my. Well, I want to do Rumble, right? I do still want to do, like, I want to do both, right? I want to do YouTube and Rumble. The net that I wish the enforcer would get rid of a few narcissists. Oh, pretty personal there, Lynette. Uh, I don't know. Ask him to do it for Christmas or something. Can you please get rid of these people? Been a good girl all year. Please just get rid of these. He'll do it. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Santa Claus will do it. I'm just messing. But yeah, I feel that way too sometimes. I'm not gonna say about who, but I do feel that way sometimes. Let's see. Oliver said it's all good. I appreciate everyone talking about. Yep. And I apologize if I went a little too hard at you. I just have, I'm not gonna lie, I have a little PTSD dealing with outside entities that have done things to people that I know. I'm very cautious. Very, very cautious about anything trying to coax you. Even if they have good intentions. That's just, oh, me too, even. You too, what, Moonfire? Have Christmas wishes you want fulfilled by the enforcer? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what you guys are talking about at this point. Getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. But yeah, it's funny. Somebody asked me last stream that should ask Kim to get rid of entity, trans entity, and I'm like, sure, I'll ask her. Yeah, why not? Back of Moon. I don't even want to know what you're talking about. Sounds personal. To be honest, you guys are saying stuff right now. I don't think I want to know what you're talking about. Might be a little disturbing. Orange Gatorade. I'm gonna tell you what I thought about. So, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I need to do these more often because I really enjoy these conversations. I'm gonna try to do twice a week. So the next stream I'll probably do, I think Thursday. I'll choose a different time. I might do it. I don't know. I'm trying different times, but this time seemed to get the most people and the most interaction. So, and I, the reason why I chose this time, like, because I think that people on the West Coast, they get home and they don't get to. So it allows people all over the country tune in, I guess. Best way to put it. Yeah. Yeah, so whenever Kim was supposed to have an interview with the Marina, I think her name was. You guys know anything about that? I know Kim said she did the interview. I haven't seen it anywhere. Did I miss it or something? Anybody know about the interview? Because I wanted to talk about it. Nobody? But yeah, whenever Kim talks about next, because I'm hoping the next time that she does a UNN report with Sunny, she'll say, "Hey, we got rid of the last few people that were terrible." I hope that's the next thing she says. I'm kind of tired of hearing. You need to go. That's the way I see it. But anyways, I'm gonna shut it down, guys. I really appreciate you all for showing up, and I will see you guys in the next video. And the next stream, I'm gonna try to shoot for Thursday, unless something changes. I'm gonna try to announce it early because I noticed that the notifications take. Yeah, that's the same thing I think. High Cal, because they're not gonna change. Let's just be real. Everybody here knows that they're not gonna stop. But anyways, uh, I enjoyed this talk. I will see you guys probably tomorrow in a video, and then Thursday I'll announce. I'll make a video like I did. I'll let you guys know what time and all of that. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. It was fun. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you like, share wherever you can. And I'll see you guys next.